All right, welcome. Today, we are jumping into one of the biggest questions you can ever ask yourself. Who am I? And to help us figure it out, we're going to explore some incredible wisdom from the Bhagavad Gita. We're talking about Atma Gyan, which is just a beautiful way of saying knowledge of the true self. And trust me, this isn't some dusty old philosophy. It's a real, practical guide to figuring out who you really are underneath it all.
So let's just start right there. Seriously, just for a second, think about it. If I were to ask you, who are you? What would you say? It's tougher than it sounds, right?
Most of us would probably go for the easy answers. I'm a teacher, or I'm an artist. Maybe you talk about your personality, your thoughts, your feelings, or even just, your physical body. These are the labels we slap on ourselves every single day. But here's where the Gita throws a real curveball. It says, all of that stuff changes. Your job can change, your feelings are up and down all day, your thoughts are a constant parade, and your body, well, it's definitely not the same one you had a decade ago. So if all these things are temporary, how can they possibly be the real permanent you?
And that right there is the core of it. The Gita sets us up as the ultimate identity puzzle. The good news is, it also gives us all the clues we need to solve it. So let's put on our detective hats and dive in. Okay. Our first major clue is a concept the Gita calls the Kshetra, which literally translates to the field. Just think of it as the entire scene of the crime, the scene where we've got a case of mistaken identity. So what exactly is this field? Well, it's way more than just your physical body. It's the whole shebang, the entire material setup that you experience. It's the body you're in, sure, but it's also the mind you think with, and the emotions you feel. Basically, if you can observe it, if you can point to it and say, that thing, it's part of the field.
And look at what's included in this field. You've got the physical building blocks, of course, earth, water, fire, and all that. But then it gets really interesting. The Gita says your senses, your mind, your intellect, and even your ego, that little voice that says I, me, mine, are all part of the field. And this is the part that might blow your mind. Even things like desire, hatred, happiness, and distress are classified as part of this external machinery. So all that stuff we think of as our deep inner life, the Gita says, nope, that's just part of the observable world too.
Which leads us to a massive, crucial question. If your body, your mind, your ego, and all those emotions are just parts of this field, if they're just scenery, then who is the one doing the experiencing? Who's watching the show? And that question leads us directly to the hero of our story, the key to the whole puzzle, the Kshetrajna, which means the knower of the field.
So, the knower is the consciousness that lights everything up. It's the silent, unchanging witness to everything happening in the field. Here's a simple way to picture it. Your body and your mind are like the movie playing on a screen, full of drama, action, and changing scenes. The knower is you, sitting in the theater just watching it all happen. You are not the movie, you are the awareness that's watching the movie.
So let's just lay it out, side by side, because it makes it super clear. On one hand, you've got the field, your body, thoughts, feelings. All of that is temporary, it's made of material stuff, it's always changing, and it's the thing being observed. But on the other hand, you have the knower, who you really are. That is eternal, it's pure consciousness, it's unchanging, it is the observer. Getting this distinction is, well, it's everything.
I mean, listen to how the Gita puts it. This is powerful stuff. It's not just some nice poetry. It's a flat-out declaration of your true nature. The body you're currently using has a birthday and an expiration date, for sure. But the consciousness that's experiencing life through that body, that's a whole different story.
Okay, so we've got the field and the knower. But where did all this come from in the first place? To get that, the Gita tells us to zoom out, way out, and take a look at the source code of the entire universe.
It's actually explained pretty simply. The whole cosmos comes from two basic energies. First, you've got this lower energy. That's all the material stuff, the building blocks of the field we've been talking about. And then there's the higher energy, and that is the life force itself. It's the conscious souls, the knowers, the sparks of awareness that actually bring the universe to life. And when these two energies come together, boom, that's creation.
And get this isn't some one-and-done deal. The Gita describes creation as this gigantic, endless cycle.
Universes pop into existence, they run for these unimaginably long periods, and then they all dissolve back into a quiet, dormant state, only to start the whole process all over again. It's an eternal rhythm.
Okay, wow, that was some big cosmic level stuff, right? So let's bring it all the way back down to Earth, back to you. How does any of this solve our identity puzzle? More importantly, why does knowing you're the knower and not the field actually matter in your real everyday life?
Because this is where it gets really practical. This is the payoff. This knowledge, this Atma Gyan, is a game changer. When you start to identify with the knower, you're not so caught up in your temporary body or your job title anymore. You can actually watch your angry thoughts or sad feelings come and go without getting totally swept away by them. It gives you this anchor, a stable center that doesn't get rocked by all the ups and downs of life. And that is the doorway to real, lasting peace.
So if you only remember one thing from all this, let it be this beautiful idea right here. All the worries, the plans, the pains, the joys, they're like storms passing through. They're temporary weather events. But you are not the storm. You are the vast, calm, open sky in which the storm appears and then, eventually, disappears.
And so that leaves us with a really powerful thought to end on. If your true self is the silent, eternal witness, then the power of choice is completely yours. In a world that is screaming for your attention, what will you choose to observe? What will you focus on? The answer to that is entirely up to you.